You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the show. It is Monday, and I'm a little nervous today because, when you're a kid, what do people want to be? They want to be an astronaut. They want to be a teacher. They want to be all these things. And I grew up wanting to be a host, a game show host, a talk show host. And today I literally get to talk to one of my idols. And I think I'm like shaking a little bit, and I'm not quite sure. She's the nicest person. And Annie Wood, if you were a 90s kid and you watched the game show Buzz, which was a dating show, she was the host. And I fell in love with her, and I wanted to be her. And I would pretend to be her in my bedroom. I would get cards like this, and I would talk to random, the air is what I would do. And I would come up with questions, and I would just pretend to be her. And she's here today. Let's just take a moment to take that all in, shall we? Okay. Let's also take in 193,000 views and downloads of the show. Holy balls, everyone. Thank you so much for all the support you give to this show, for watching, for sharing. Now's a great time to just share the show. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, however you're taking this in, share it now to all of your people. And let's get to my goal. I'm hoping that we can get to 200,000 by February 1st, which means we'll have had over 100,000 views in January. And that's putting it out there. So now's a good time to help us get there. We can't do that without you. All right, what else do I have to tell you? There's other stuff I have to tell you, but our most watched show of last week, thank you very much, Scotty and Erica, for being on the show last week. They were our most watched episode last week. It's a great interview with both of them on two very different things, but it's sharing stories and sharing songs. Great episode, so go check that out, would you? Let's see, Autoimmune. Season 2 of the Autoimmune Campfire, which is a podcast that I produce and edit, starts filming season 2 today. I'm so excited. So that's what I get to do this afternoon, is hang out with Helen and Nona. And I think it premieres then in February is my hope. And maybe we'll have them back on to talk about it. It's such a good podcast, and they have such great people lined up. They're going to be doing interviews with guests this season. And so tune into that, would you? Good. All right. I think we should just do it. And you know what? So nice of Annie. Annie has a children's book right there on your screen, and she's given it to the entire audience today. The entire studio audience is getting a copy of Annie's book, which is so sweet of her. Yeah, she's just the best. All right. Are we ready? Should we start this show? Let's do it. My guest today is literally someone I used to pretend to be as a kid growing up, so it seems unreal that she's here. You may know her as the host of the late 90s hit dating show Buzz, or perhaps you've been moved by her evocative poetry or vibrant artwork. She's an amazing artist. She's a multi-talented woman who has captivated audience with her wit, charm, and infectious energy. Please welcome the one and only Annie Wood. I literally have had goosebumps and maybe a little diarrhea over how excited I am to meet you.
I'm sorry about the second part, but the first part is not gross.
Yeah. Now, I want to tell you that, like, I literally was a kid. I would pretend to be you in my bedroom.
Show me.
Well, I don't ever, because it won't follow me, but I would have my cards. I would get like index cards like you had on the show.
Yes.
And I would play the show like I do now. I play Rosie O'Donnell and I used to play Annie Wood. Like that's been my entire life.
I love that. You know what? There was a comic back then that did an impression of me, and I happened to be in the audience. And that was weird. The first time you see someone kind of making
Yeah.
fun of, but
Yeah.
also you could look at it the positive way, which is there's another way to look at it, not making fun of, but admiring and then copying. But I didn't take it that well in my head. I didn't say it to him, but in my head, I was like, oh, do I really sound like that?
We do that, yeah.
Because I was so spazzy. I kind of still am, but I've grown up a little. But I was very energetic, let's say.
I think that's what drew so many people to that show was you always looked like you were having the most fun out of anybody. You didn't like it felt like you were winning all the dates because you had so much fun and you could hear it. When I look back now and I watch them on YouTube because you can find them on YouTube. Your voice is so, you are like, I always say that I'm screaming when I do these interviews. You can hear how excited you are in your voice. Like the poor audio people were probably like, we need this woman needs to calm down. Okay, but where did that show come from? And you were the executive producer as well. Like,
I was co-producer, not executive.
Co-producer.
Executive
Okay.
Stu Billett and Ralph Edwards. Ralph Edwards was a legend. He did This Is My Life and Truth or Consequences, and he was back Hollywood heyday legend, this man. And then Stu Billett's responsible for People's Court and many other things. Stu had started working on this idea for a dating game show. So this is the 90s, right? So for 20 somethings, a dating game show. And I came into his office because I was working on the MTV show Singled Out. Do you remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
So I was a contestant coordinator. So I would get names and I would go travel all around and get people and say, hey, you want to be on TV? You can win stuff. And so that was my thing. And so I acquired a huge book back when we still were, writing things, a huge book of names. So that made me valuable for other places that needed something like this. So Stu hired me as a contestant coordinator. I'm in my early 20s. I walk in, my hat on backwards, rock star t-shirt. And I walk in with my book and he says, come here, I want you to see something. And he shows me an example, a demo of what he's been working on. And he asked for my opinion. And I was never one to hold back if somebody asks. I have a lot of creative ideas nonstop. I said, well, here's the thing. Here's why I think what I like about it. Here's what I think doesn't work. And I just started going. And he was so excited for this. He wasn't offended by anything I said. He thought that in that moment, thought he needed me. So he hired me on the spot to be a contestant coordinator, but also to help develop this show. That's how that part began.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you, growing up, what did you want to be?
Just really on TV, acting mostly. But when I was 3 years old, a family friend remembers I put my hand over Carol Burnett's face on the TV. And I said, I'm going to be in the TV.
Oh.
And honestly, I have no memory of ever not wanting it. So acting was my main passion. And ever since I can remember.
What were your favorite? I mean, and you're so talented. Like we'll have some of your artwork up here for people to when did you get into visual arts?
So I became a professional artist in 2017. My mom died in 2015. We were very, very close. We were born on the same day even.
Oh,
and
wow.
after she died, something in me honestly happened. I connected to this where suddenly I started drawing and painting. And I was like, I don't know, I'm going to go with this. I go with whatever feeling I have when it comes to creativity. I do not stop myself ever. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm an imperfectionist. I just know I need to create. And I've always been this way. And so I just went with it. And I started really exploring this and trying to better myself by taking online classes and things like this, just to get better and better, trying everything you can possibly imagine. And then somebody noticed this, and in Italy, and I got my first solo show in Venice, Italy in 2018. And that was like a dream, an absolute dream. Like sometimes I'm like, did that really happen? But it did.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like so many pinch me moments in your
Yeah,
life.
it's true. It's true. And you know, for all of our lives, I think we have these moments, but we should really remember that it's us, that we're creating these. We just
Yeah.
can't follow exactly how we're creating it, but we are creating it by showing up for ourselves and doing, you know?
Well, and then also stopping to celebrate those moments as well, and
Yes.
not because we get in such the grind of like, okay, well now I need another show. When's my next gallery opening?
Yep.
When,
Yep.
and to take that pause and to really get excited
Even
about what you're doing.
it doesn't even have to be that big of a thing. Something
Yeah.
small, like a tiny win. I make myself celebrate the tiny wins, you know? Not that long ago, recently I got an honorable mention for one of my artworks, and there's a big part of me like, oh, honorable mention, that's not an award, and just not think about it. And then I was like, no, Annie, don't be like that. You tell other people not to be like that. Why are you being like that? Celebrate every win. Every acknowledgement is an acknowledgement. Every pat on the back is a pat on the back, and give yourself those, you know, give yourself the flowers all the time.
Yes.
We need it.
Yes.
We need it. It
We-
keeps us going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in an artistic, creative family, or were you the only one?
Yeah, you know, I do think about this sometimes. So my mom was this super fun, kooky lady who she was creative in the way she dressed, in the way she was in the world. There was no one else like her. She very much believed in doing what is right for you. My dad is a playwright, but he became a lawyer and didn't write for much of his adult life. And when I was a teenager, I encouraged him to take an early retirement and write, because that's his love. I'm also a writer, and it's in my blood. And so he did that. And so he's a playwright, creative that way. My mom's was creative in the way she was in the world. One of my brothers drew really well. I was always like, how can he do that? It's cool things he would always draw. And another brother is also creative, but none of them this was not their business, except my dad eventually got his plays in theaters. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. What a life. Like, what a fun, like, fantastic. Like, I was the only really creative one. And so then I was the weird one. And, and so to be surrounded by other people like that, a lot of creative people are always searching for that community, and you had it at home.
Did you feel supported? Did you feel
yes, 100% supported. Just also like, what's he doing upstairs in his bedroom playing talk show? Like, what is he doing up there? But I had to do it. I had to do it.
Me too. I could be alone forever creating my worlds. It was sometimes I see a kid these days, like my friends' kids, and I'm like, why aren't they in their room like making up worlds? I don't understand.
Yes, I would have full on. I mean, not much has changed in 40 years, but I would have full on productions. I would take a piece of like printer paper, and I wrote on air, and I would put it on my door, and no one was allowed in.
Oh my God. I love it. You know what? If we were friends, I would have been your guest. I would have been your guest. I would have come over.
We would have probably been fighting though of who would have been the host.
Well, no, I'm good at being an interviewee.
Okay. Yeah, you are. I will say that. Yes, you are. Yes,
maybe we would have taken turns.
Yeah, that's true. I would have done that maybe. What happened when they then said, hey, we actually want you to host this show?
Well, this goes back to, really going after the things you want in life. One day by the way, there were always men that came in to be a host, to do the run-throughs. There were always men. And I should add white straight men that they were always, and they would come in, to do run-throughs. And one day, they were comedians. They were mostly comedians. And one day, one guy was sick and he couldn't come to the offices in Hollywood to do a run-through. So I was there, and I was like, I mean, I really knew what was wrong, and it's not that they were men. It was that they
That
were
was down on the list a little bit.
yeah,
Right?
it is.
Yeah.
That they were doing their stand up, and the contestants were a second thought. For me, because I wasn't a stand up, I came from an improv background, which is very much with other people. You're an ensemble, and I knew that we had to make it more about the contestants. There had to be a back and forth. That's what's interesting, I thought.
Mhm.
So I came into Stu Billett's office and I said, listen, I figured out what you really need for this show. You know, what you need is me. And he and he was like, well, you'll get your chance. I like to say, you'll get your chance, kiddo, because that sounds very old Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if he actually said kiddo.
He had a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, he might have, right? It does sound very old Hollywood, and I love old Hollywood. So one day when this guy was sick and couldn't come in, I got my chance to do a run through in the offices, and they taped this run through. And it was fast moving and it was fun. Oh, by the way, I knew all the contestants because I was a contestant coordinator. I found them all. So they, oh, hey, Annie. And then, so it was like this, it was like a party and it was so fun. And then Stu's, I can't remember, it was Stu's son or nephew, someone made the graphics. Was that Charlie? Oh, I can't remember. Made the graphics for, this was a big deal back then because you didn't see this a lot. Now it's nothing. We all do it on Instagram Reels. We all do it all the time. But back then in the mid 90s, this was not seen so much. So he made graphics for the show that said, ouch, oh no.
Yeah, like the little overlays, yes, and the kisses and that, yeah.
And so we took this run through with me hosting with the overlays, and we took that tape around town, Stu and I, to pitch it as a show. And so we sold this show together. I was the young, cool kid, and he was the grounded businessman producer. We had our thing down, and we knew what we were doing. We were being our roles, which were natural, what we were. And we sold the show that way. And Stu said, there's only one thing, Annie has to host. And this was a big deal back then because people at the time did not want to see a female game show host. They just did not. It sounds crazy. It sounds so weird. But I am the third female solo dating game show host in the history of television at that time. Became the third.
Who were the other two?
Betty White and Elaine Joyce.
That's good company to be in.
No, I know. Believe me, I'm honored. I'm in the books. There's a big game show, history game show book. And I was just at a game show event where signing autographs, and somebody was there with the book, and I looked to make sure, that I was there.
What's your favorite time from that show?
We did these beginnings, that were so fun. I remember we had a monkey. We had a chimp on one, but I don't remember the gag. But we had a chimp, and I thought, this you can't get more Hollywood. That just sounds so like, get a chimp. Let's do a bit. Come on, it'll be great. I have no idea. I don't know if it was funny. I don't know what, but that was fun anyway, stuck in my mind. One time I had allergies and I took Benadryl, and I kept saying, don't come back. We'll be right away. And I thought I was great. I thought, why are we stopping? I said, my director, Bob Loudon, who's my good friend to this day, why are we stopping? I was great. Slurring, sounding completely drunk. Benadryl. Do not take Benadryl. Oh, no. Don't do that. You should know that. That's my advice to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me write that down. No Benadryl.
No Benadryl. Benadryl bad. I like how you wrote with the wrong side.
Well, actually, what I grabbed was a stylus. It was not even a pen. But it was television magic, Annie, and you ruined it.
Listen, I'm a realist, man.
I love that you picked up on that, too. It was the first thing I had. We could have done it with one of these, I suppose.
Yes, better. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So fun, really. I would go out drinking to Residuals. There's a bar, I don't think it's around anymore, called residuals, where you used to put your residuals up on the wall, and if you had residuals, the check you get as an actor that you continue to get, but they get less and less. And so if you have a smallest one gets a free drink, back in the day, they had to stop doing that because we all get very tiny.
Yeah. Everyone was getting way too drunk for way
Yes,
too cheap.
exactly.
Yes.
So we would go out afterwards, and I would hang out, and sometimes the guys would hit on me, and that was fun, but I didn't date any of them. At least I can't remember. I don't think I did.
You probably didn't.
Yeah, probably.
No.
No.
You have a husband, don't you?
Well, not then.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying now, so we have to tell him that you didn't date any of them. Yeah. Yeah. You also have a children's book that's so
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah. Thank you.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Should I show you?
I told you that this would be 10 minutes, but we're going to be here for like 4 hours.
Great.
I'll put a graphic up on the screen too, so it'll be okay.
Listen, I never thought about writing a children's book, but I just write, okay? And I don't really, doesn't matter to me so much what I'm writing. I'm writing poetry all the time. I write screenplays, plays, books, stories. It doesn't matter. I just need to write. So, excuse me, this story came out as a children's book, but I really think it's not just for kids because of the point of it. And it's written in a kind of poetic way. Here it is. Brightness the Bird.
Brightness the Bird Girl, yeah.
And I made a stop motion doll of Brightness that I'm not sure where she is. But anyway, I make stop motion films as well. And here.
Oh my gosh.
I illustrated and wrote it. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. I think that I love positivity and I love self-love so much. I think we all need so much more of that. What a great world this would be if we could all learn to love each other and accept ourselves. And that way it'll be so much easier to accept others and love others if we could do that for ourselves, you know?
What a concept, huh? And I love that you use, I was in the arts and health field for a long time, and you're using all of the arts to make such a beautiful life for yourself and for other people that it's so, when I started, I was literally, this is how this happened, is I was laying in bed and I was showing Tony, my boyfriend, I like, you popped into my head for some reason. And I was like, have you ever seen this show? And so we YouTubed it. And then I went down the Annie Wood rabbit hole and I was like, she's amazing. Like, she's out there killing it. And then I reached out to you and here you are.
I love that. I love that story. The Annie Wood rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's your next book. In true game show dating fashion.
Can you write that down?
Yes, write it down here. Do you need a pen? I can. Here's a pen.
Isn't this cute? I found this at the museum at LACMA. You put it over a pencil.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cute. Carry on.
That's what you make writing fun. I've got some game show style questions for you, dating game show. Okay.
Okay. And you roll up your sleeves.
I should have had them in cards, and I should have done my best Annie Wood impression.
If you fold it, pretend it's a card.
That's true. You also used to do this a lot when you would talk.
Oh, did I?
I think so. Yeah. Because you were very into it. Like you were okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I use my hands like a conductor.
Yes. 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 That's exactly. Okay. If you could have any superpower on a date, what would it be and why?
Superpower. Oh my God. There's so many popped into my head at once. By the way, ADHD. That's very hard because now I want like 10 of them came in. And so now I have to go through the list of all the things I thought of at the same time and decide which one. So which one?
Write them down.
Well, I guess I would want to be a mind reader because that would be a lot easier. Get right to the punch.
That's true. Yeah. Good one. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song and why?
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots will walk.
They're gonna walk for you.
Yeah, that's fun stuff because I'm always wearing boots, and so I can get really into it. And you don't have to be like this awesome singer to really pull that off. A lot of it is acting. And then
everybody knows it.
Yes, and the second one is act naturally. They say they're
Oh.
gonna put me in the movies, and that's just what they're gonna do. And it's the Buck Owens one. Ringo Starr did it too. But that one too,
Very,
packed out.
yeah, that's good. Those are good answers. What's one thing you're actively working on improving about yourself?
Oh man, we're
Mm.
getting deep now.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Oprah territory now.
Yeah. I am actively trying to improve this idea that I don't need to always be doing.
Mm.
I naturally have a lot of energy, which is great, but sometimes I overwhelm myself because I feel like, no, there's this and then there's this. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I did this and this and this. It's like, oh, by the way, I meditate twice a day, thank God, or else I'd be, I don't know who I'd be. So I love it when I can have more moments, teach myself more moments of calm, not just when I'm meditating, throughout my life. You know, I love
Yeah.
nature. I love just being. And so I'm actively trying to do more of that that feels like it's not just good for me, but all those around me, and a good
Mhm.
example to set too, because life is not about doing, it's about being.
Oh, you're the best guest. Okay. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
What is the most fun? These questions can be hard because did I hop on a plane and go somewhere, or did I just think I did?
Did you just want? That could go. Well, my next question is: if you could travel anywhere in the world tomorrow, where would it go? Where would you go?
You know, I have never been to England, and I've always wanted to go. I just keep thinking that someone will call me there, like for an art show or for a job or something.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I love the Beatles, but that can't be the only reason. I love their humor. I watch a lot of British TV show. Maybe that's it. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I've always wanted to go. I go to Italy every year. I'm very lucky because my husband's Italian. So that's my second home. So that wouldn't count because I already go. I'd like to go to England. Yeah. Oh, New Zealand sounds nice too. And then where's the place that has all the flowers? That has the is it
The
Denmark?
tulips?
Denmark? Yeah, is it Denmark? Yeah, the
I don't
tulip.
know. Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Or like.
I don't know. That sounds appealing.
Yeah.
What about you? See, it's impossible
Um,
to ask you.
Australia. That would be my go.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's on my list as well. Yeah.
You've got a list. You've got things to do, my dear. Things to do.
Or to
What?
enjoy.
That's true. It's true. Yes. What is the best way that people can connect with you?
You know what I love the most is if people would sign up for my Substack, because I have a newsletter. It's called How to Love the World. And that is without fail every week. I send Friday at 11:11 a.m. Pacific time. I send out a newsletter. It's either a spoken word poem I've done, or it's a poetry film that I made, or it's an essay, or it's a memoir. It's always a piece of art is included with a link to learn more about the art for art lovers and art buyers out there. It's the most consistent way that isn't social media, that I feel I will just continue to do no matter what happens with social media. With that said, I'd love them to sign up. It's free. Also, Instagram. I also enjoy Instagram. Artist Annie Wood is the Instagram account that I have two, but that's the one I'd like to get more people to go to. Artist Annie Wood. Really, those two things. If you sign up for the newsletter, you're always in the loop.
Okay, good.
Oh, I also, as an actor, I have a movie that eventually is coming out. It's that I star in. It's in post right now. So the first to learn about everything would be sign up for my newsletter, which I'm sure you'll show them the links.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We'll have a fun
Great.
buzz type graphic down there. I'll read through them for your show.
Well, AnnieWood.com is where everything is. AnnieWood.com, you see my art, you see my socials, you see how to sign up for Substack. And AnnieWood.com.
I love it. Thank you. What do you love most about your life right now? That's the final question, and then I'm going to let you go.
What what I love most about my life is that I create every single day, and I get to spend it with a beautiful man that I'm crazy in love with, who's,
Oh, not me. Oh, sorry.
supportive. And this is part of and beautiful men like you
Yeah.
reach out to me, beautiful people like you reach out to me and say, hey, I want to talk to you. That's a beautiful thing too, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everything in my life, and the fact that I am alive and can create, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. That was a great answer. Thanks for taking a chance on some random person who messaged you and said, I love you. Come hang out with me. You've been
I
a
love
joy.
the love. I love the love, and you are wonderful. And thank you for asking me.
Thank you. Please come back when your movie comes out.
I will.
Okay, good. Annie Wood, everyone. Legendary Annie Wood. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
We're back, everybody. I have no words for Annie Wood, but thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Go make your day richer, everyone. Go make someone else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I just love you for it. On tomorrow's show, we have AJ Tyler, who's the author of Death Insured, and also Lynn Bowman, who has a great plant-based cookbook called Brownies for Breakfast. And who doesn't want that? So tune in tomorrow, everyone. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.